be to encourage our visitors back.
Thank you, Mrs. Alcorn. Minority Leader, Senator Titlegy, do you have any questions at this time?
Thank you, Madam Chair, for the opportunity to speak. And Hafaday Lucy.
Hello, Senator.
To kind of see you. How are you?
Very nervous.
It's very, yeah, I get, coming from you, I'm shocked. When you said I was nervous, I was a bit shocked because, you know, you've done a lot more intense meetings than this one here. I know it's hard, it's difficult to talk about yourself, you know, and try not to sound, you know, too, you know, but I guess this is a time to do it. This is time to show you all your attributes and what you've contributed, especially for being on the board for 10 years. It's quite a long time. So you've seen people come and go, and I appreciate you, again, continuing to step up to the plate and serving the people of Guam in this capacity. I do want to ask you, and if, because you are the CEO of GFS Group, and do you find that there's any conflict of interest that you may have with the airport, being in the seat that you're sitting in?
No, I don't.
Kind of conflict? Okay, and in the event, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, Senator. No, I don't. I think maybe one of my entities, maybe the restaurant, maybe last year sometime they may have a purchase order that a small amount at one of the restaurants, but I have no dealings with it. Other than that, there are no, we don't supply the airport with anything.
Okay, that's good to hear. The other one is I had the opportunity, Lucy, to tour the airport with the joint effort of GVB as well as the airport together, and going around facilities, and it looks like it's very well kept, and the safety precautions are put in place as well. Now trying to convince the other airlines to come into Guam is probably a different story. And we know that the quarantine is basically what hinders anybody from moving forward. But what is the airport doing and the board doing to provide incentives to bring the airlines back sooner than later?
Well, with all our tenants, I believe, I understand, I know we have actually offered some sort of relief, and we've partnered with them during the pandemic. And we have allowed and deferred 3 months, I believe it was 3 months. And then some of them, with all of them, we had some sort of relief that we offered our tenants. Because we know that we're all going through this together.
And Lucy, who is the chairman of the board right now?
Chairman Bomba, Brian Bomba.
He's the chairman of the board right now. Okay. And last question, you know, the airport has property that they lease out whenever, you know, someone is interested in. And I know that the airport has a very difficult time trying to bring, you know, new investors and to some of the property that you have ready for lease. And it's probably because of the short term of the contract. By Guam law, it's only 5 years.
Right.
And yeah, speaking with your former director, and speaking with your former general manager of the airport, you know, at first he was thinking about, but then he realized it was important. So I guess for my last thing is just to encourage the airport to reach out to the senators with regards to that. I have a bill that actually does that, changes it from 5 years back to 10 years to push economic growth. And I know that the airport would be very appreciative of it because you generate revenues from some of the properties that you have for the airport's operations. So other than that, I wish you the very best of luck. And again, I thank you for stepping up to the plate.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator. Ms. Alcorn, I also like to note for the record that you also received a letter of support from Mr. Brian Bomba, who is the GIA board chairman, and Mr. John M. Kinata, the executive manager of the airport now. All right. If there are no further questions, I'll move forward with Mr. Zenon Bellinger. Is he here?
Right here.
Okay. Sorry, you guys are far away, so it's kind of hard to see your faces. Okay, so Mr. Bellinger, do you have anyone testifying on your behalf?
Nothing I know of.
Okay, so go ahead and proceed with your testimony, please. Thank you.
Afternoon, Madam Vice Speaker and committee members. Thank you for the opportunity to provide testimony regarding my reappointment to the AB Wampat International Airport Authority Board of Directors. I'm honored to be reappointed by the Governor, Lulian Guerrero, to serve on the Board of Directors. The past year has been fruitful in learning how the airport works and how it ties in with our economy, tourism, and the lifestyle on Guam. Working with our airline partners, the Federal Aviation Agency, our neighboring island airports, we continue to improve air travel. Partnering with other government agencies, we have taken various steps to ensure that we tackle the COVID-19 pandemic and keep our islands safe. We continue to improve facilities, improve the quality of our services, and work to make the experience of coming to Guam an enjoyable experience for our residents and tourists. Thanks again for entertaining my reappointment.
Okay, Mr. Bellinger, just a couple questions. During your time as a board member, what are some of the challenges that you were faced with and the solutions that you provided?
As a civil engineer, I was faced with the fact that we were asked to look at the current projects here at the airport, and we've done that. We've created a CIP committee so that we could look and review the various projects and see how we can facilitate them.
Can you elaborate?
I think there's 3 or 4 current projects that are under construction. We have the runway improvements, we have the 3rd floor corridor, and we have the ARF building, which is the fire station, for a lack of a better word. So looking at how what do the schedules look like? Are they within budget? And if not, what are we doing to facilitate the project so we can get it done?
So can you tell us a little bit about the 3rd floor corridor?
Currently the contractor is working to complete it. The milestone that we're looking at right now is in October of this year, 2020. We will be opening up the corridor that will connect into CBP, or Customs and Border Patrol, where they screen you as you're coming in. And so that'll be the milestone. And then once we get the remaining work completed, the contractor's looking at trying to get this thing done as soon as possible in 2021.
I'm sorry, you said that you're looking at the corridor to be completed in October 2020 and then the contractor to do something in 2021?
No, a portion, the west wing, which is almost done. There's the west wing and the east wing.
Yes.
The west wing is on the Agana side of the airport.
Yes.
That portion will be ready to be connected to CBP and have the passengers go up through there and down into CBP and be separated from the outgoing passengers. And that's slated to open in October of 2020.
Okay.
Once that's completed, then we will continue to the east wing, which is on the Dededo side of the airport, and continue with the improvements on that side of the airport. And that we're looking at trying to complete sometime in 2021.
And have any of the CIPs that the top 3 that we are looking at, the 3rd floor corridor, the expansion of the runway, and the ARF building, have any of these CIPs been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic due to a halt in the flights or a decrease in air flights?
I don't think I don't think the projects have been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Other than the new procedures that the construction workers have to go through with the social distancing, the masks, and all the other stuff like that.
So
That slows the construction down slightly, but work is progressing.
Okay. Okay, very good. What do you plan to improve during this term as a board member?
I'd like to improve the facilities in
Okay.
terms of the operations of the facilities and in the engineering part, because that's my background, and have better communications with those departments, with the rest of the administration.
Can you explain a little bit further?
We have a small staff, and sometimes it's overwhelming. So we may have to look at, do we need to improve, build the staff up, get the right type of people. We've had people here that have been here for quite a while. They're all talented, but it's also trying to figure out, what's the best use of the talents.
Okay. Thank you. That is all the questions I have at this time. Senator Tydegui, Minority Leader, would you like to ask any questions?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you, Mr. Bollinger, for stepping up to the plate as well. It's good to know that there's an engineer on board, with all the construction that's going on with the airport. Greatly appreciated. Doesn't it seem that you were just in front of us last year, getting confirmed in the same position?
Yes, I was.
Okay, I thought so. And you're back here. I guess you were just filling in. I kind of figured it out after a while that you're just filling in, and now you're going for the 3-year term. So again, the good chair asked all the questions I had, especially on an engineering point of view. So I really appreciate it again for your time, and good luck to you. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Senator Tydegui. Mr. Bellinger, we also have letters of support from the executive manager, Mr. John Kanata, and board chairman, Brian Bamba, on your behalf. That's all the questions we have at this time. Now we'll move on with our next candidate, Mr. Gurvinder Bic Sobti. Hi, Bic.
Hi.
Do you have anyone testifying on your behalf?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Written, I think so, all written.
Okay. Please go ahead and.
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry, Vic. We have someone here to give testimony on your appointment, and that is Mr. Troy Torres. And then after Mr. Torres, you may give testimony.
Buenas,
Mr. Torres.
Buenas, Vice Speaker, Madam Chairwoman, members of the committee. Thank you for taking my testimony. My name is Troy Torres, and I ask that you accept my testimony in opposition to the confirmation of Bic Sobti to the Airport Board of Directors. It is my belief, based on Mr. Sobti's recent actions, that he will abuse his position as a member of the Airport Board of Directors to his personal benefit. The CNMI House of Representatives Special Committee investigating the use of pandemic federal funds by CNMI Governor Ralph Torres is pursuing the matter of a $2.58 million sale of supposed personal protective equipment, or PPE, by Mr. Sobti's company, International Royal, to the CNMI government. On the record so far in that committee is an invoice detailing his unbelievable markup of PPE at the height of panic in the CNMI for pandemic preparedness. CNMI legislators on the record have compared unit prices of products supposedly delivered to Saipan to the unit prices of the exact same products quoted by other companies at a 2/3 discount. Indeed, Mr. Sobti sold 250,000 generic face masks to the CNMI government for $3 a piece, and sold the same exact face mask to the Mayor's Council of Guam for $2 a piece. To put this into perspective, those face masks sell at a retail in Guam stores for 40 cents a piece. This is just one item entry on one invoice I decided to use as an example. There are $1.75 million in other sales at severely inflated prices in that one invoice alone. An egregious fact to consider, and which is under full consideration by the CNMI Legislature's Investigative Committee, which you can find in their proceedings, is that International Oil has never been and still is not a registered company in the CNMI. Another fact under consideration is that even on Guam, where the company is registered, it is a uniform clothing and tailor shop, not a medical supply company. The CNMI Legislature, and I would imagine the Federal Bureau of Investigation, is investigating how a uniform and tailor shop from Guam, whose owner has physically been on Guam during the contracting period, came to receive a $2.58 million sole source contract in the CNMI for medical supplies using federal funds. This matter is a monumental embarrassment for Guam, an indication of shameless disrespect by Mr. Sobti and by association the people of Guam to the struggling people of the Commonwealth, and more importantly showcases the extent Mr. Sobti will go to make a buck. Is that who we want on a governing board overseeing the expenditure of $100 million in contracts? Thank you for your time and kind consideration today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Torres. Vic, you're welcome to proceed with your testimony.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Hafaday, Madam Chairperson, and members of this esteemed committee. I'm honored and privileged to be before you today from a confirmation hearing. I desire to continue my public service as a member of the Board of Directors for the AB Wanpa International Airport Authority, Guam. I would like to convey my appreciation to Governor Lou Linger and LT Joshua Tenorio for having the trust and confidence and reappoint me to GIA board. My initial tenure in the airport board started in 2013, and my experience since then carries forward into my continued participation and contribution to the airport. We are facing unprecedented times with the COVID-19 pandemic. We need to build and sustain confidence that our airport is safe and secure as we recover. We need to make the right decision, explore all options to keep the airport, our airlines, and concessionary financially viable. There is much work that remains for Guam Airport. I look forward to contribute these efforts as a member of the airport board. I ask for your confidence and support by allowing me the opportunity to engage my public service as a member of the GI Board of Directors. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sobti. And we also have a letter of support from Mr. Bamba and Mr. John Kanata. Some of the questions that I have: what contributions do you plan to provide to the Guam International Airport Authority?
I've been aboard for a while, and I've been in several committees. The last committee I've been with is the CIP and Finance Committee. And the last few months with this pandemic, we've been suffering, but the airport has been very blessed. We just got about $21 million from FAA to help with our partnership with all the airlines and our concessionaries. So we are working very closely with them to help them sustain these problems with, their financials, so we can keep them as a partner for long term. And the CIP, Mr. Ballinger is a new member, which is a big asset to our company, big asset to the airport. He has this experience, and being part of this, I started this since the the third floor corridor. We are in full progress, and like you mentioned, we should be done by next year, and we are full speed with that.
Thank you. For the 3 years, the length of 3 years that you will be serving, what are some of the priorities that you foresee for the Guam International Airport Authority?
I think so. The first thing we need to bring is safety for the airport and bring back tourism industry. So we our marketing department, and cut down on, we need to cut down on other contracts which we can save money till our tourism come back. So we need to, two priorities are for the marketing and to cut down on the airport cost so we can manage for the next few years till our tourism come back.
Thank you. And what contracts do you foresee being cut?
I would say some cleaning contracts to trash contracts to, you know, because we have less tourism, so there's less those two contracts, and we are most likely we're not doing any more construction for the next few years, so airport will be holding that 10%. Most of the money comes from the FAA, but 10% is committed from the airport fund, so we'll be holding back on those construction too.
Okay, thank you very much. Minority Leader, Senator Tidegui, you are recognized. Do you have any questions at this time?
Just Madam Chair, for the opportunity to speak. First, thank you for willing to serve the people of Guam. And, you know, Bic, there's been some allegations toward you, and I want to be able to hear from you on any of those allegations, if they're true or not.
That's not true. I supplied to different islands. Anybody needs goods, I've been doing this from last 40 years. This is not my new business, and this is my old business. And I've been doing that from last 39 to 40 years.
So you don't think there's anything wrong with these allegations of price gouging or anything like that?
No, during those times, it was tough times, and I had to go source this. So everything, the shortage was so bad that we had to get these goods at a premium prices. And look at for example, the price for the gloves, the company prices have been gone up from $5 to $12 a box today because there's a shortage of gloves. And during that time, all these factories which we are buying and shipping stopped completely. So we had to bring everything from DHL or airlines, not by sea shipment, because we have to pay 3 times the price to bring these goods in.
So I guess my last question is, are you being investigated by the CNMI government at this time?
No, not to my knowledge.
You're not being investigated?
Okay. Not to my knowledge. They haven't.
Not to his knowledge.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, if that's what you're saying, I'm kind of seeing the news lately, and your name is out there, so I think you're kind of... Sorry, go ahead, Bic.
They haven't called me yet.
Oh, yes. Okay. 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 Thank you, Madam Chair, for that opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Tidegui. We'll now move forward with our next appointee, and that will be Mr. Donald Weekly Sr. Mr. Weekly, do you have anyone providing testimony on your appointment on your behalf?
Not I know of.
Okay, please proceed with your testimony.
Affidavit, Madam Chair, and members of the Committee on Education, Air Transportation, Statistics, Research, and Plans. My name is Don Weekly, and I have been serving the GIA Airport Board of Directors for approximately 18 months. I am here before you today to request your favorable confirmation so that I may continue my service to the Guam Airport Board of Directors and the people of Guam. I am ready and available to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weekly. I do have one question. So we talked about the CIPs, and the Guam International Airport Authority in the previous months gave us an informational briefing on how they will be able to sustain operations up till the month of, I think it was October. And so with that being considered, how will the Guam International Airport Authority move forward with the impact of its revenue losses after that?
Well, we did have April, May, and June, and we helped out the concessions and so on. That expired. That was a $3 million thing.
Mm-hmm.
We did not renew that as of yet, and we're functioning okay without doing it. And we're not too familiar with what's going to be happening in the new fiscal year. We'll be reviewing the budget next month, August. The board will. And we'll have more information at that time.
Okay, so that would be, when in August will you be reviewing the budget?
That would be our regular board meeting, which third Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Minority Leader, Senator Taylor-Tideway, do you have any questions at this time?
Just not seeing Madam Chair for the opportunity again. And just for the record, I have to divulge that Don Weekly is my uncle. I'm very related to him. And so just for the record, for transparency. And Uncle Don, thank you. Thank you again for stepping up to the plate and serving on this board. You know, just like you and Villager, I just saw you last year and 18 months into it. So the only question I have for you, Uncle Don, right now is, what do you see at the airport that you would like to see be improved at the airport?
You know, I'd like to say I've worked for several different agencies, and this airport is so professional. Everybody has a job, and they're very efficient. When I first came on board, my emphasis was on bathrooms, that we were getting a lot of complaints about bathrooms. That has been fixed already. And of course, the safety issues. But, we've got about 8 pending CIP projects that we're not addressing right now. I'd like to see those happen, parking and a few other places. And to see these other projects that are underway right now, the third floor, which is my CIP chairman. I'm on the CIP committee with him. And the, what's the other ones? The fire station, ARF we call it. And that's been notice to proceed already, but we ran into some problems there with the soil was too soft. So we had to, now we're driving piles down, and that's going to take some more time and extension to see that done. It's a 2-story building on the south side of the airport property. Those and more, and finish all these other CIP projects. And we have a very progressive board, very good chairman, and everybody has something to offer. It's a good place to work.
Oh, that's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying yourself, and they're actually, and I'm happy that you mentioned the bathrooms, by the way, because when I was doing the tour at the airport, I noticed that because of the COVID and the importance of going in and sanitizing the bathrooms all the time, I guess that's one way to make sure that those bathrooms stay, up to par, clean and safe for our visitors. And I hope this kind of structure has taught the airport something to maintain that. I think it's a good idea, and the bathrooms were well kept, but then again, there was no traffic. But I love the structure that was in place to ensure the bathrooms are clean and sanitized, more so than before. So again, I thank you for stepping up to the plate, because I know you can retire and go fishing all day long, but I know that you got a lot to give back to the people of Guam, and serving in this capacity will definitely help the people of Guam. Thank you so much, Uncle Don. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Minority Leader. Okay, this, Mr. Weekly, we also have the same letter of support from the board chairman, Mr. Brian Bomba, and also Mr. John Kanata. Sorry, I keep on wanting to say JQ. That's why I'm moist. But no, thank you everyone at the Guam International Airport Authority. I believe that this part of our agenda has been completed, servicing the Guam International Airport Authority appointees. So you may choose to leave the meeting room or you may stay. It's up to you. Thank you very much and good luck on your appointments.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, now we will move forward with Miss Liana Borja. Is she here? Miss Liana, hi. Okay, Miss Liana Borja, who is to serve as a member